Hello and welcome to the Snailcast, the Snail Comics podcast. This is the first episode not only in 2 months, because I didn't get to record one last month. I had problems where I kept on burping, and I was like, oh, wait till the burping goes away, and then it didn't go away, so for like the whole month I couldn't record anything. But also, this is the first episode since I've moved into college. So, here I am at my dorm, and I'm the only one in here. I don't have a roommate, so it's just kind of me, all by myself. And I'm going to talk about the problems I have with college. But first off, I want to talk about some good things here. One is that when I need it to be, it can be very quiet sometimes, which is nice. Because it's like, if I'm trying to study, all I really want to hear is my music. I don't want to hear people, scream or whatever. And, well, since I study during the day and not, at, night, that's really good. And then later at night, I don't need to be quiet because I'm just, playing my games. I don't need to, have it be quiet and focus. So then, when I do that, that's really nice, but sometimes it's not like that, because sometimes it's late at night and people are just loud. Last night, the guy above me kept on moving a chair or something against the floor, and I kept on hearing it scrape against the floor, and I couldn't fall asleep. So that wasn't fun. But, yeah, now to the negative stuff. One being that college is so damn expensive. As much as, you think college is expensive, because everyone is like, oh man, college is so expensive. I don't think people realize just how expensive it is until they actually get in. Because it's like, oh yeah, you have to take out a student loan and apply for that. But then there's so much more than just, the actual cost of getting into college and having to take out a student loan and that. Because you have to buy textbooks. I didn't have to buy any this year. Well, I did, actually, now I think about it. But they're not textbooks, but they're books. So I did have to buy books. You have to buy school supplies. And then you also have to pay for your meal plan. And then, my college, I don't know if this is the same with most colleges, but it makes you pay to do the laundry, which isn't good, right? I don't like that. But the weird thing is, not only do you have to pay for the washer, but you also have to pay for the dryer. Who's gonna pay for the washer and then just not pay for the dryer? So you could just combine the two prices, but no, they're like, we'll charge you separate. Because it's like, who's going to use a dryer without using a washer? Or a washer without using a dryer? People just aren't going to do that. But, you still have to pay for both for no good reason. I don't understand. And then, another thing that I had was, there's a website that I have to take on my psychology course, which I have to take psychology. I have to. It's not even for my major. I'm pretty sure I have to take it to graduate. I was put into the class. I didn't get to pick my classes this semester. Apparently, you can only do that starting second semester, which I think is dumb, but whatever. Because in high school, we got to pick our classes, the first year. And it was okay, you didn't really have too much choices, but hey, you could still do that. I'm not complaining about having that responsibility. But then college is oh yeah, you can't. And I guess that makes it more convenient because there won't be any scheduling conflicts because the school, picks your schedule for you, But at the same time, kind of dumb. But in my psychology class, I have to use a website. And in order to access the website, I'm tired, hold up. In order to access the website, guess what you need to do? You need to pay $75. $75. It's just a website. Like, does it really need $75 per student? That's so much money. And then, of course, uh, it's like, oh, you have a 2 week free trial. But it's like, yeah, you theoretically could get a 2 week free trial. But when you have to shove 4 months worth of work into 2 weeks, yeah, no, that's not going to really work out for you. So you essentially have to buy the website. It's $70. And it's like, well, that sucks. Because, like, already, I don't have a lot of money. And and I have to pay for food. I have to pay, for laundry. I have to pay for any school supplies I might end up needing. If I run out of water bottles, I have to buy those. So it's like, I have a lot of stuff that I have to pay for. I don't have a lot of money. I also didn't get a job on campus. I was supposed to, and then I just didn't get hired. So that kind of stinks, but what can I do about that? But now it's like I have to spend $70 to get on a website that I'm probably not even going to use too often. Like, I have to use it for work, and aside from that required work, probably not going to use it too often, because I don't think there's much else you can really do on it. So, $70 down the drain for that, and, oh boy, though, because it gets even worse, because it's like, my headphones started breaking. Like, this headset that I'm using to record this, sometimes my headphones won't work, sometimes my microphone won't work, and I have to unplug it and replug it in a bunch of times just to get the things to work. So it's like, oh, that's nice, because I'm going to need a new pair of, either a new headset or a new microphone. I think I'd honestly rather just get a regular microphone, because it would be way more convenient, because then I could just use my regular headphones for everything, But it's like, I can't really do that right now. So, especially when I just spent $70 earlier today on a stupid website because the 2 week free trial ended today, which means, I have to pay $70 if I want to get this week's work done. It's just so dumb. And then another problem that I have isn't really because of the school itself. Like, or, some dumb corporation that wants to scam kids out of their money or something like that. It's a problem that probably a lot of people are experiencing, which is the whole global pandemic that's going on right now. It's making it a lot harder to make friends. And no, I know that sounds like a very, first world kind of problem. Like, oh, I can't make new friends. But when I'm stuck in a brand new place that I don't even know, like, anyone here, like, I know, I think 2 people here. One of them I know fairly well. And, like, I'm pretty sure the other one I, like, vaguely know, but I don't remember who else is going here from my high school. But, like, that's, like, 2 people. One of them I vaguely know, I could recognize them, but, like, I didn't really talk to them too much in high school. And then the other one is, like, a friend, but not, like, a super close friend. No offense to him, but, like, I don't have too many super close friends. It's, like, 5 people, really. Plus, obviously, people like my cousins and my brothers, Sean and Kevin. But aside from that, it's like 5 other people who are like my super close friends. And like I text them like basically every single day. I have a group chat with all of them, I think. But like aside from that, if we're friends, yeah, we're probably friends. Aside from that, no. Like, we're not, like, super close friends. And I don't mean this to be rude, but that's just kind of how I work. I don't have too many super close friends. But even so, I do have a decent amount of friends. I can't really talk to them because I never got contact with them outside of high school, which stinks, but. And then, the worst thing about it, though, is now I can't make friends here, and then other people just already have. A lot of the people who have already made friends, at least from what I can see, either might have already known the people, or just don't really care, and thus, they get close and don't wear their masks, and I'm just like, okay, well, if you've already known the person, you still probably shouldn't do that, and if you do already know the person, you don't know the person, you definitely shouldn't, and then, because, you don't know where they've been, and then there are people who are just kind of walking around campus without their masks, and I'm just like, oh boy, that's not cool, because, at least when I see, those people, they're often by themselves, rather than in large groups, but there are people in large groups who don't wear their masks, don't social distance and whatever, and that's kind of I'm worried about that, because if college shuts down, I'm gonna have to go home, and I have a lot of stuff to bring home, so it would kind of not be good to just suddenly be like, oh yeah, I have to bring all my food, I have to bring my computer, my laptop, my monitor, my games, my Switch, my school supplies, I have to bring all of that home all of a sudden. That doesn't sound like it's a good thing. And if, enough people get sick, the school is going to have to shut down early. So I really don't want that. But on the bright side, a way that they're making sure that people don't get sick is by having random testing. But I have a problem with this too. And it's not the fact that they're randomly testing people. I think that that's great that they're randomly testing people. Kind of. Because they should really be testing everybody, but every 2 weeks. But that's not going to happen, But the thing is, apparently, you can, say that you don't want to get tested, and they won't test you? Which, what? That doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that seems like an absolutely terrible idea to just have someone be like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable being tested, and then not get tested. Because A, the testing isn't anything that would make people feel like their privacy is being violated. I feel like it's a little gross, sure. You shove a Q-tip up your nose, both your nostrils, you swirl it around, put it in a tube, but you might see that as a little bit gross, but it's not that big of a deal, I don't know. So, people can just opt out of testing, and I don't know how many people do, but that's what I read in the emails at least. Which is also, there have been contradicting emails about the virus testing, and I'm even more confused about it because of that. Another thing that I don't particularly enjoy is the food down here at the dining hall, the main dining hall. There are other ones, but they're much smaller, and I haven't tried all of the foods there, but I've tried a majority of the food at this dining hall, the main one. It's not that good. It's really not. Some days they'll have good French fries. Some days they might have good pizza, but it's most of the days the pizza will be garbage, the French fries will be garbage, the hamburgers, hot dogs, the chicken patties, garbage. They have actual dinners, but the lines for those are so long that I've barely ever been able to even have a chance at getting one. So I don't know what that is, but not good. It's not good that I haven't been able to get one. The only day where I had a chance, they were all out of chili, and that was what they had for dinner. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Then there's breakfast, which I've only had a few times, because I don't like to leave my dorm early in the mornings. Because, I get up, I'm all tired, I'm all groggy, I don't want to leave my room, and so it's like, I really only leave at around like 11, and that's like when I'll go get lunch, or if I have classes, I'll go to them. I'll go on walks sometime after, usually. But yeah, earliest that I'll ever leave is like 11. I get up at 8, so it's like, well, I say get up, but it's more like that's when my alarm goes off, and I just stay in bed looking at memes for like an extra half hour before I actually get up. And then I'll kind of just do stuff on my computer until 11, And it's like, it sounds like I haven't been eating any breakfast foods, but I do have frozen foods inside my freezer. I have frozen pizza bagels, like the bagel bites kind of thing. I have frozen waffles. I have bagels, which I keep frozen. Bread, which I keep frozen. In my fridge, I have stuff as well. It's not really like foods in my fridge. Like, I have like peanut butter and jelly and cream cheese, and I don't really count that as like actual food. Although there is an apple in there. I had 2 apples, and I've eaten one, and I haven't eaten the other. So yeah, I've still been eating breakfast. I've still been eating all the meals that I need, and I even have had some snacks as well, but I don't know, man. Just the food at the dining hall, not too good, personally, in my personal opinion. Other people may disagree, and, I don't care if they disagree, because I'm not talking to them right now. But, aside from that, college has just kind of been boring, because again, I haven't been able to make friends, because it's like, you have to stay 6 feet apart. Most of the hangout areas are either limited the amount of people that can go in there, or completely closed. So it's like, okay. And it's like, they're also usually full. So it's like, oh, well, now I can't go in there. And if there's absolutely no one in there, I don't want to be sitting there by myself awkwardly, when instead I could be sitting by myself awkwardly in my dorm room where I have stuff to do, like work or study or play games or watch YouTube or listen to music. In my room, I have stuff to do if I sit awkwardly by myself. Meanwhile, in the dorm, hangout, common area, I wouldn't. So, it's just like, do I sit awkwardly by myself in my dorm where I have stuff to do, or do I sit awkwardly by myself not in my dorm and hopefully someone shows up so that way I can try to make friends? And, well, the option's kind of easy for me, because I'd rather have stuff to do than sit there awkwardly waiting for someone to show up. I'm sure I'll be able to make friends eventually, but it's just a lot harder with the pandemic going around, and it kind of sucks because of how hard it is to, interact with people. But I've joined the Smash Bros Club, so hopefully I'll make some friends through that and be like, yo, these guys are pretty cool people, and I don't think I'd be able to hang out with them in person until the virus goes away. I actually probably wouldn't be able to hang out with them in person until the virus goes away at all. But, you get the idea. I had that friends. I can make at least some type of friend, so that's good. And then as for talking to my regular friends, I haven't been able to do that much either, because again, I've been at college, in case you haven't been able to tell by what I've been saying. So there's been maybe at most roughly once a week I call some of my friends and we play the game Among Us, which if you don't know how that works, it's kind of like there's this one guy or maybe two. It depends on how you set it up in the settings, but there are people who are called the imposters, and their goal is to kill everyone else. And then the other people are called the crewmates, and their goal is to find out who the killer is and eject them from the ship, or complete a bunch of tasks. So, I've been playing that a lot with my friends. Well, I say a lot, but it's again like once a week. Mostly I've been playing Minecraft and the new 3D Mario All-Stars games, which mostly been playing Mario Galaxy, although I did play a little bit of Mario 64 on stream. I'm editing that into a stream highlight. Hopefully that will be done soon, but I don't know, because I also had to focus on schoolwork. So, I've been doing that some days, but I haven't been able to do that every day, or like every week, or anything like that. So, and then I visited home, I think, once. Yeah, it was once. And then there was another weekend where my mom and dad came down to visit me, and we went out for dinner, and they gave me the Mario game. So I appreciate them for coming down and driving me back home and all that. And then this weekend, on October 3rd, my brothers should be coming down with one of their friends who's in my grade. She graduated this year from high school, just like me. They should be coming down. And one of my friends from high school, the one who, I already mentioned, lives here on campus, actually is dating this other person. So they're gonna, both. So she's coming down to go hang out with her boyfriend who lives on this campus, and Sean and Kevin are gonna come down to hang out with me, and we're all gonna go on a walk, because apparently there's a nice place to hike. It's like a mountain. So that's gonna be fun. Hopefully that goes well. I don't know if it will, but I believe so. I don't see how it could go wrong, but obviously you can never be sure. So, and then aside from that, absolutely nothing special is going to go on this next week, probably. It's just going to be another regular boring week. And then once we get to this upcoming weekend, the one, I believe it's a long weekend from the 10th to the 12th. I believe we have that Monday off because it's some holiday, like maybe Columbus Day. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure we have a holiday off that weekend. So I should be going home if everything goes according to plan. And then it's almost Halloween. It's almost Halloween, guys. Like, that's wild. And then after Halloween, it's only like less than a month until Thanksgiving. And then that's a vacation. We get to take a vacation, go home, spend it with our families. And then after that, it's only like 2-3 more weeks from there until classes are over. And then once classes are over, we go home. I don't know if the day that classes ends includes the finals week. If it does, then that means that my last day of classes, including any finals, is on my birthday, which would be amazing, because it's like I finish up my classes, I pack up all my stuff, and then I have my parents pick me up. We'd go out for dinner, and then we'd go home, and then I'd be able to spend Christmas and holiday break home. And then the next semester would come in like January. That is hope, and I'd move back hopefully, because that's when flu season really gets strong, and they're predicting that things are not gonna get better in the flu season. In fact, it's only gonna get worse, they say, which means 2021 is gonna be even worse than 2020, which sucks. I mean, at least the one thing they will have better is they won't have the election cycle, because I just hate every single time that there's a big election cycle. I just hate it. Like, people post political stuff online all the time. People are always political, so you can't really escape it usually. But it's a lot easier to just avoid political stuff when there isn't an election in 2 months and everyone's going wild about how they want to vote out Trump or keep Trump in or whatever. I don't really enjoy talking about politics. It stresses me out, so I just tend to want to avoid people who talk about politics, or just not talk about politics with those people. So, for example, my brother, Sean, he's a very political person. I don't like to talk politics with him. I don't particularly enjoy it. I think you can understand why, because he's a very political person, and like I just said, I'm not, so I feel like that's a very obvious, oh, I can understand that. But then there are people who are very political, who I barely ever talk to, because that's basically all they talk about. If you enjoy politics, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. There are plenty of people who enjoy politics who are good people. There are plenty of people who enjoy politics who are bad people. There are plenty of apolitical people who are bad people. It's just that I personally cannot stand when people talk about politics, because that's a very divisive and touchy subject, and it gets people way too angry way too quickly, and it stresses me out. I also don't know a good way of expressing my own political beliefs, because I just generally don't want to. So I never developed the way of, saying what I believe super well. So, for example, I could be pro something. I'm not gonna say specifically anything, but I might word what my personal beliefs in a way that come out as I'm not pro whatever, and I'm actually anti whatever. But, that's not the case. Or something similar, but like the opposite way, where I'm against something and I word it in a way where it sounds like I am pro, but I'm actually anti whatever. You get the point. I'm not very good at wording my political beliefs. But also, another thing is that a lot of people tend to have their political beliefs very set in stone, and that's not the case for me, where I'm more malleable in my political beliefs. So like I can, based off of information, I will adjust my political beliefs. But I don't see a lot of that online, so it's like, okay, that kind of, worries me, because if I say something like, oh yeah, I used to have this belief, but then I read this and I changed my belief because of it, someone might view me as like a traitor of some kind. And yeah, obviously these are like the extremes, people who are like that, who would view me as a traitor or would absolutely hate me because I say that I don't agree with them. And, fair enough. I guess. I don't see, it's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to be like, political beliefs are like, it's hard for me to really explain anything political, even when I don't like politics. It's just a very touchy subject, basically, is what I'm trying to get into, and I don't want to make anyone mad at me for just saying what I personally think. I know that saying I'm anti-politics is probably already gonna get some people like mad at me and be like, "Oh, you're not gonna vote, so that's like essentially the same thing as voting for Trump. How could you? I'm very anti-Trump." But like, thing is, it's not like to the point where I won't vote. I'll still vote. It's just to the point where I won't ever really publicly express my political beliefs. That's something that I just can't do. I can't understand how people do it. Like, some people, you know, I can understand their political beliefs. I can understand where they come from. But I can never understand how constantly expressing your political beliefs is like something where it's like, yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. Because usually when I've ended up expressing some of my political beliefs, someone has, been mad at me for it. Whether it's been a left-leaning or a right-leaning political belief, because, like, no one's ever just pure left or pure right. There are, but, like, that's a very minimal amount of people. A lot of people are somewhere in the middle, where it's like, they do have these left beliefs, but they might have one belief that's like a more right-wing kind of thing, or they're very right-wing in their beliefs, but they have one that's like left-leaning, So whenever I expressed either of those, people are like, "Oh my goodness, you're not a good person," and it's very stressful, So I don't understand how people who are like constantly expressing their political beliefs online, I don't know how they can deal with it. Maybe it's because they just have a lot of like people in their friend groups who are just all the same political beliefs, or maybe it's because their political beliefs is just so attached to their identity, like to the point where they're like, one of the first things that they identify themselves as is as a Republican or as a Democrat or whatever. But personally, I don't understand how you can just manage to do that. So if you do constantly express your political beliefs, I wonder, like, you can, like, comment below, I guess. Like, how is it that you're able to, like, deal with all of the stress of people just, like, the worry that people will just be mad at you? Because, personally, I can't deal with that. I feel like a part of that is also maybe to do with the fact that I have Asperger's, and it might just, like, because, like, sometimes one tiny little criticism will just absolutely overwhelm me, and, I'll start, like, crying or whatever. And then other times, it's, like, you can say this, like, huge, absolute, like, pile of criticism. And it will just all be, like, to me, like, okay. And then that's it. Like, I don't really think about it. I don't really know what you even said. Like, I don't even process it. But then it's just like, you're kind of, like, really into Mario, and sometimes it's a little bit annoying. And that might just make me break down into tears. I don't know. I used to be a lot more private about my Asperger's, but there was an internet fight online, and then basically where some guy called me the R word, which obviously I am very much against, because you know, I have Asperger's. I have a form of autism. And that's a word that's used to, like, attack those with autism and other mental disabilities, like Down syndrome. You know, I don't know any other ones off the top of my head, actually. All I know is autism and Down syndrome. But, well, you know, that kind of, like, aggravated me a lot. So, I quit the internet for, like, a few weeks, and then my grandfather passed away. And then I extended my internet hiatus until probably mid-June, I think. I don't know, I'd have to look online when I started posting back on, like, Instagram, but yeah, that didn't really end well for me. Obviously, the whole break helped with a lot of things, but overall, this year has just not been good for me, and college is absolutely no different. So, I don't know. Just, it's been lonely, but it's also been nice in some ways as well. You know, finally getting to experience the world myself. But, I've basically just run out of things to say at this point. So, that's about it. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Snailcast. Sorry for no episode last month, but you know. And I am working on the newest Jail Snail comic. So if you head over onto my Instagram page, at Snail Comics, or my Twitter, at Snail Comics, both of them are just at Snail Comics, one word. No special characters or anything. Hopefully that should be out by the end of this year. I don't know if it's going to come out before that, because it's been harder for me to work on art recently. Just kind of because everything's just been stressing me out so much that I feel like it's not a good way for me to just try to create things, because then if they're not as good as I want them to be, it would just add on to more stress. But hey, I mean, it's still fun to make comics, so I'm still trying my best at it, but don't really know if it's gonna be out within like a month, within 2 months, but for sure I will have it out by the end of the year. So if you follow me on either my Instagram or my Twitter, you will see that at Snail Comics. And if you want to listen to more episodes of the Snailcast, you can search us up on Spotify, subscribe to us here on YouTube, or follow me on Instagram. That's right, Instagram is also where I post the Snailcast, not only where I post the Snail Comics, which is where Snailcast got its name, because that's what I say at the beginning of every single recording. I say it's the official Snail Comics podcast. I mean, yeah. I don't know how you could miss that, but if you do, there you go. Thank you for listening, though. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.